So we're going to talk about some news tonight. We got, anytime I see the words Nightmare on Elm Street, I get excited. I get really, really excited. And I will say that is the franchise that I want a new movie from the most, even over Halloween. I'm serious. And I'm a Halloween guy. You guys know that. But when they come out with a new Nightmare movie and it's good, it's amazing. I love it. I had a good time with the remake. We've talked about the remake ad nauseum, but I think there's some good things about that movie. I think they were headed in the right direction. They didn't quite land. They didn't quite land. But I kind of wish that movie would have been a hit because I think there was a platform there to go forward. It would have been cool if they would have actually said, okay, let's start from here. This is a remake, and let's go forward and let's explore. Let's explore. Let's let Jackie Earle Haley have some fun. But because I don't mind that. Sometimes I don't mind if the first movie isn't necessarily the best movie. Like, there's some people that have said that. Like, I rarely hear people say the first Friday the 13th is the best Friday the 13th. Would you guys agree with that? Anybody in here think the first Friday the 13th is the best Friday the 13th? And I don't, but I still love it. It's still good. But I mean, what if that movie wouldn't have been a hit? We wouldn't have got all those great Friday the 13th movies. So I think there's nothing wrong as long as there's potential to carry the story forward. Elm Street 2010, I've seen him in here quite a few times. He loves the remake, obviously. Yeah. And yeah, like I said, every time I watch it, I'm not pissed off when it's over. I think it just didn't end that strong. I think they should never have given away who Freddy was, made Freddy a pedophile. They should not have done that. I think that was a huge mistake. Trap says Nizal. Trap says, fuck that. I saw a GIF. It's like, somebody asked a question like, did you like this? Did you like X? And the GIF was like, no. It was like, I was like, that's funny. That's funny. Okay. So Elijah Wood, I guess he's a big Nightmare fan because I was doing a little research on this. There was a story that just came out, I think like 5 days ago. And so I looked into it. Now there is this source called We Got This Covered, which if you know anything about sources, they have a really bad reputation. Usually if you see something from We Got This Covered, I guess it's not to be taken seriously. I'm no expert with We Got This Covered. So they might be on 75% of the time. They might be on 25% of the time. I have no idea. Okay. But luckily there are a couple of other sources, websites out there that reported on this. And there is a quote directly from Elijah Wood in there. But if you go back even further to February of 2020, there is another story about Elijah Wood wanting another Nightmare movie. So let's go over and let's take a look at that. Let's take a look. All right. I'm excited about this. I'm hoping it goes forward. Let's see if this works. What are you doing, you goddamn computer? My computer's acting really weird. And this is a new computer. There it goes. Okay. So this, what you're looking at right now, is the 2020 story. So we're going to start at the beginning. And then we're going to work our way forward. Okay? Let me scroll up here. Okay. So Elijah Wood touches upon what he'd like to do with the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise. Now this, again, this is 1 year ago. This is February 5th, 2020. Okay? Which Freddy, is that from Freddy's Dead? Because that's horrible makeup. Horrible makeup. Okay. Okay, as you may recall, SpectreVision's Elijah Wood and Daniel Noah, they produced Mandy and The Color Out of Space. See, I didn't know that. I didn't know Elijah Wood was tied to Mandy and Color Out of Space. Tells you how much I know, but that's pretty damn cool. But Elijah Wood, I like him as an actor, you know, and a producer. I think anything he puts out, it's very interesting. You know, he's just a very unique actor. He's got a unique vision. And I don't know, he's just not cookie cutter, you know? And he seems like he's a horror fan too, which is cool. All right. So they have expressed interest in taking over the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise in an interview that Coming Soon ran this past November, with the duo revealing that they have a very specific take they'd love to pitch. And they've been in contact with the rights holders. Speaking with Bloody Disgusting's Boo Crew podcast this week, Wood elaborated on those enticing quotes from last year, touching upon what he'd like to do with the franchise. So this is something that he said a year earlier than that, back in 2019. Any opportunity to get hold of a classic franchise like that and revitalize it and do something different with it is pretty exciting. I don't know if the rights are actually available. We've done our due diligence, Wood told the Boo Crew. He continued, you can't just reboot it. You can't tell the same story over again. Yeah, I mean, because they've already had one remake. So I guess my question for you guys is, where should they go? Like, should they do a remake, or should they spring off of, you know, should they Halloween 2018 it and spring off of the first movie? I guess it would be not quite 40 years later. It would be 37 years later. So by the time it's made, though, it would be probably almost 40 years later. What do you guys think? Let me know in the chat. I'll keep reading. All right. And also, side note, I thought somebody already got the rights to Nightmare. Am I wrong on that? I don't know. I'll keep reading. I'm thinking out loud. Okay, I'm thinking out loud. It's already been done. You can't do... Okay, I read that already. Hold on. I think you bring Freddy along for the ride initially, but you have to go somewhere else with it because it's such a well-trodden ground. As for whether or not SpectreVission would bring Robert Englund back to play Freddy Krueger one more time in this hypothetical franchise film, yes, they absolutely would. That's enticing. I think Englund has to be in it. I think you have to honor that series, to honor that character, to honor Wes Craven. Would explain, I think you have to do that. And then you can express beyond that. He said he wants to do one last film as well. Talking about Robert Englund. Yeah, Robert Englund has stated that he wants to do one last film, but I mean, he is well into his 70s now. Which you could still, I mean, look at freaking Stallone, right? Not saying Robert Englund is Sylvester Stallone, but, you know, if he's still healthy, you know, he could still do it. And hey, that's what stuntmen are for, right? I just saw, there was another story somebody was talking about. Oh yeah, Indiana Jones. Like, Indiana Jones 5 started filming. And, you know, a lot of people are like, what are they going to, I mean, this, what, an 80-year-old Indiana Jones? I mean, shit, he was old as fuck in the last one anyway. So, stuntmen, that's where stuntmen come in. That actor, Harrison Ford, you just need him for close-ups, really. And you know, and your dialogue shots and all that, but the actual action, you know, swinging from a rope and all that stuff, and cutting a bridge in half, and stuntmen, you know, and I'm sure that they're probably gonna do that. Hell, I'm sure they did it in the last movie. Yeah. On a related note, oh, here we go. Hold on. Last we heard, Wes Craven's estate is currently in control of the rights to the character of Freddy Krueger and the franchise as a whole, and it's important to note that SpectreVission is not, at this time, actually involved in the franchise's future. This is all purely hypothetical stuff here, but it's nevertheless interesting to imagine what Freddy may be up to next. On a related note, Mike Flanagan, I did hear about this, also has a killer pitch for the next Nightmare on Elm Street film, and you can listen to his Boo Crew interview to hear a bit about that. So, yeah, I did hear about Mike Flanagan's pitch, too. He posted something on Twitter, actually. You know, something like "Put me in, coach," or something like that, because Mike Flanagan would be perfect, I think, for a Nightmare movie. So, now, we've just read the 2020 story, so now we're going to go over to the newest story. Let's see if there are any updates, okay? So now This is the latest story. This came out, this one's 2 days ago. Elijah Wood on wanting to make a new Nightmare on Elm Street and Children of the Corn films. So that's a new revelation as well. Now, how many Children of the Corn movies have there been? I've only watched the first one. I love the first movie. I haven't given the sequels a chance at all. They look very low budget. And I don't really hear anybody shouting at the mountaintop, you got to check out Children of the Corn 6. You know, so until somebody comes up to me and says, you have to check this movie out, I'm not even going to bother. You know, it just looks very, very low budget. But I do like that world that Stephen King created. It is an interesting world. Let me know if any of you guys have actually watched any of the sequels to Children of the Corn. I'm wondering why Elijah Wood is so adamant about getting that property as well. Okay, as you may have heard, Elijah Wood has been wanting to produce a new Nightmare on Elm Street film through his production company, SpectreVistion. Doesn't this sound exactly like what I just read that was from a year ago? Okay, so this is something that he has not given up on, and he's now saying that he would also like to produce a new adaptation of Stephen King's Children of the Corn. When asked about Nightmare on Elm Street during an interview with CB, Wood said, we personally have talked a lot about internally Elm Street and how incredible it would be to play in that universe again and see that universe. To see Freddy Krueger and just that concept be explored again. That's something that we're fascinated in. Obviously, that is not a lesser known, smaller thing that should be remade into a big one. But another one that I feel is exciting, I know that there's already a remake coming out, but we still really love Children of the Corn. So there is a Children of the Corn remake coming out. Okay, news to me. I didn't know that one. I feel like that would be an exciting thing to do from the ground up. Taking it from the novel, not remaking the movie, but actually taking the short story and fleshing that out in an interesting way. I wouldn't mind seeing Wood bring in a creative team to make new films out of these horror properties. I'd like to see what his vision for them would be. When previously talking about A Nightmare on Elm Street, he said, you have to bring Robert Englund back for one more film. I think especially if you're going to open up a new franchise and take it in different directions, you have to establish it with him, and then you can move on. I don't think it's interesting to tell the same story over and over again. We don't need another origin story of Freddy Krueger. I don't think it should even really be so much about Freddy. Oh, that's interesting. I wonder what he means by that. Because I guess you could take the whole dream world premise. Is Freddy Krueger the only guy that has the power to enter children's dreams? Very interesting. I've never thought about that, but yeah, what if there's another guy that can do it? And what if that guy ends up in the same world as Freddy? Holy shit. Could be interesting. I'm going way too far down that rabbit hole, though. One of my favorite movies, and not something I necessarily want to remake, but one of my favorite movies that was direct to VHS during the great direct to VHS horror explosion of the 1980s. There's a movie called Truth or Dare, A Critical Madness by Tim Ritter. Never heard of it. I think it sticks out in my mind because I saw it when I was 6 and it just left an impression on me. But I genuinely love it, and I've introduced to so many people, and it has its fans. It is not that obscure, but I don't know that I'd want to remake it. When I think about these lesser known movies, that one always really sticks out as a special gem. Which is my question for you guys. What is a lesser known movie that like nobody ever talks about that was kind of like something from your childhood that you really liked? I think for me, there was a movie I used to watch when I was a kid called Time Bandits. And Time Bandits is kind of like a cult type movie. I'm sure some of you have heard of it, but that's one I used to watch in like the early 80s when I was a kid. What's another one? There was another one. I used to watch the cartoon of The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. And when Aslan like dies at the end, I remember I was a kid and I started crying. But yeah, that's a really well done cartoon, animated movie. Yeah. So I've actually seen that movie, Truth or Dare: Critical Madness. It's one of the several horror films that my friends and I rented from a video store during our teenage years. Have you ever seen it? Okay. What do you think about Wood wanting to make new films for A Nightmare on Elm Street and Children of the Corn? So, one thing that we have learned here is that the rights are, like, he hasn't like obtained the rights or anything. This is still just kind of a pipe dream. I hope he can get his team can get the rights. I mean, hell, they've done Mandy and they've done Color Out of Space, and both those films are excellent films. I'm sure some people might find, hell, both of them a little polarizing because they are very unique films. I feel so good because I can see you guys now. So I don't like being over on the article when I can't control my mouse. But, yeah. Let me read some of your comments here. The Last Dragon was a huge... Oh, yeah, I used to love Barry Gordy's The Last Dragon. I loved House on Haunted Hill, 1999. Felt like... that was Erica, bro. I can't go back up. Damn it. You guys are going too fast. Curse of the 49er. Never heard of that one, Destiny. Adventures of Baron Munchausen was a cult film growing up. George Hellman. Indigos' Videodrome. Mandy is good. Kenneth. Erica says, if they're talking really young, the Dark Crystal I watched as a kid freaked me out. I've heard of the Dark Crystal. Explorers and Toy Soldiers comes to mind. Beth S. Did I ever see Toy Soldiers? Beth, we were talking about Toy Soldiers too not too long ago, weren't we? That's the one with Sean Astin, I think. Yeah. House remake was pretty solid. I don't think I saw the House remake, if I'm being honest. I don't remember it. Yeah. So what do you guys think about this, the Nightmare on Elm Street story? It feels like we're still kind of, like the needle hasn't moved. That's what it feels like. And it's crazy to me that like a property that is as big as Nightmare on Elm Street is still not moving. But I mean, hell, I mean, at least we know why Friday the 13th isn't, because of the lawsuit. But yeah, it's weird that both these movies, both these properties, there's nothing happening. It's crazy. Kylie says, if Scream 5 is a hit, I'll bet a new Nightmare movie will be fast-tracked. Well, who is distributing Scream right now? Because it used to be, is it still Dimension? I'm sure some of you know. I bet, because I can't remember. I don't think Dimension Films is Dimension even around anymore. But I know that I don't think they're the same as like Nightmare, you know. So I don't think that's going to help them if Scream is a hit. The only way it could help them is the overall landscape of horror, and you know, we got this big hit, so let's put. But hell, everybody thought that with Halloween 2018. After Halloween came out, everybody thought, wow, this was a huge hit. All these other properties are going to get greenlit now. We're going to get a new Nightmare movie. We're going to get a new Jason movie. All this stuff, and nope, it didn't do anything. It's crazy. That movie made more than, I think Halloween 2018 is the highest grossing slasher movie of all time right now. If you adjust for inflation, the first Scream is. The first Scream made like 175 million worldwide in 1996. So if you did the numbers for inflation, it would have beaten out Halloween 2018, which made like 250 million worldwide. But yeah, no Nightmare movie. No Friday movie, so I don't know. It's weird, but it's crazy when like one person has so much power over a property, and you got like Victor Miller has that much power over Friday, and you know, if he doesn't agree, then it's not moving forward.